You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
So anyway, I just started blasting.
All right, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Couch Bro-tatoes. I'm Alex.
This is Cap.
This is the one and only Chris Morrison.
Oh, taking Cap's fucking intro. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Is Chris Morrison a common name?
Yeah, I went to high school with two other Chris Morrisons.
Was he Christopher Morrison?
No, we were all Christopher Morrisons, and we all had the same middle name.
No shit.
Well, the same middle initial. It got really awkward when one of our moms died.
Oh.
Yeah, because we all got called to the office and told that.
Oh,
and we were trying to figure between the three of us, we were trying to figure out which one of us had lost our mom.
Holy shit. No, that's bad.
And is Chris spelled the same way, like C-H-R?
Yeah. No fancy San Francisco spellings, no K's and shit.
No Chris Christopherson or anything like that?
Nah, you keep that fucking weird North Georgian bullshit somewhere else.
Well, figure we might as well, I guess, technically wrap up our Mandalorian series because it's probably going to be a little while before a new season of this comes out. I have a feeling the Boba Fett series is going to wind up coming out before any sort of new Mandalorian season.
A lot of things got wrapped up around the Mandalorian lore, as we found out.
Let's go ahead and get ahead of this now, so we don't have to talk about it in the rest of the episode.
It's hard not to, just because it's still kind of fresh, but obviously Gina Carano's out of the show at the time we recorded this, and it disappointed all of us because the character's great. She just had to be a fucking dummy.
Like, seriously, that really did bum me out, because I think I even brought it up in the last episode. I loved her character. Good, strong female character.
As fans, can I ask y'all something?
Yeah.
Where else would her character go after this season?
She was kind of like a B character anyway. So,
but I'm saying, like, her story arc. We find something new about her in this season, but other than that, the story progressing forward now is still about the lone Mandalorian.
Exactly.
Right.
Where would she have fit? In the grander scheme of things, that's what. Like, she is a guest star.
Yeah,
that's how I see her in this show.
Yeah.
Not a mainstay character, because the mainstay characters are just two people.
Yeah, it's just
and one's a fucking puppet. So exactly. So her being let go, up or down, it was going to happen. Like, I see it as like an inevitability. This is a show about one guy. Mm-hmm. Now we come back to characters.
Yeah.
Once, twice, and in her case 3 times. But other than that, I did not see another story arc from her.
I didn't necessarily see another story arc from her, but she did rank up. You know, all of a sudden she did have a bigger position. So it felt like she could have been, the Maz. From the new Star Wars movie, where she could have popped in, helped move the story along for a little bit, had a cool little fight scene, and then been like, all right, see you later, brother.
I think that happened though in the last episode of this season. I just see that as her like climax moment.
Yeah. I guess
dead in the water after this.
With the question of, as a fan, what would I have liked to see? Another couple of those. There's no reason why that couldn't have happened a few more times.
I can see that character getting worked into as a lead spot in a video game or something like that.
Yeah, or she could have wound up having like a comic book spin-off of some sort, And there could have been potential with the character. It's just unfortunately when you compare being a conservative to the
being a Jew during the Holocaust.
Yeah, that's a little hard to bounce back from.
Yeah. Disney investors don't like that.
People don't like that.
People in general don't like that, much less Disney investors.
I think she got caught up in wording it wrong.
I think so too. She's just dumb.
But you're talking
she
about,
was just stupid.
But you are
that was
about,
just the long and short of it.
You are talking about someone who got socked in the head a lot.
That is also true.
Yeah, because she was truly built for the role. She was a fucking fighter.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm not.
That's all we have to say about it.
Yeah, not really worth dwelling on.
No,
Quite frankly.
So much as us being music fans, we have to say sometimes let's separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Let's do that as we dig on into Mandalorian.
I love Kevin
season
Spacey
2.
films.
There is a line.
Marilyn Manson had one good song.
Oh, God. Episode 1, Chapter 9, The Marshal, in which the Mandalorian and the child continue their journey, facing enemies and rallying allies as they make their way through the dangerous galaxy, and they wind up on a planet, and they see a guy that looks oddly a lot like Boba Fett.
This is on Tatooine, right?
Yeah, this is where they meet Raylan Givens.
Yeah.
Was it back on Tatooine?
I think so.
Yeah, because there's Tusken Raiders.
Yep. And crate dragons.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. Might be in Star Wars. There could be that on multiple different planets.
But according to the plot, it's there's a rumored Mandalorian operating out of Tatooine in Mos Pelgo.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember because at the end of season 1, they were like, the Mandalorian you seek is on. I've heard rumor of one on Tatooine. Yeah, I remember that now.
Tatooine's always like the mainstay planet in any Star Wars universe.
Well, and it also made all the Star Wars nerds go, "It's gonna be Boba Fett."
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was like Chris alluded to, Raylan Givens, fucking Ola Fantastic himself.
Now,
And what's her name is in this one? Amy Sedaris is back.
yes,
Yep.
yes, I liked her character. See, and again, say someone like that, I kind of compare that to like Gina's role, where it's just like we could have kept seeing her.
Yeah.
You know, so that I kind of chalk it up to that.
All of these side characters are like that. I mean, hell, Timothy Oliphant can come back as another character, or come back as on a different planet playing the same character just to get him out of a jam somewhere, and it'd be totally fine.
And now let me ask you this as fans. When you first saw him show up in the Boba Fett armor, and before he took off the helmet even, did you feel like that was Boba Fett?
No, he's too tall.
No, yeah.
I know.
The armor doesn't fit him any relative. So like,
Even before he took the helmet off and everything else, like I was looking at it going like, either Disney fucked this up royally or something really weird is happening right now.
I saw it more as like, oh shit, there's a guy who dug a really big hole to dig up a dead body.
I like how they kind of teased it like that too, and still gave you another story, but a compelling one at that too.
And honestly, I would have been okay if they had not introduced Boba Fett in the series and that's all they did.
Yeah,
Like
me
that,
too.
that honestly felt satisfying. I was like, oh wow, cool. Well, okay, the Mando has, Boba Fett's armor now. That's kind of cool. Maybe he'll incorporate a little piece of it, and that's going to carry on the tradition.
Yeah.
I didn't hate they brought him back, but I also would have been cool if that's all they wound up doing with it.
And I like this episode a lot because they kind of brought back a little bit of lore that I'd gotten into from playing Star Wars video games, which was, creatures in Tatooine like crate dragons and shit like that.
That was cool to actually see a live crate dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you only see that in like video games or like maybe comic books and shit like that.
Yeah.
And but you finally see one with real actors and things like that in a Star Wars story that's gonna hold more clout than your average fan fiction story too.
And I love the jokes they played on that one, where the Tusken Raiders were trying to use some of the.
Oh yeah, he speaks Tusken Raider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he speaks Tusken, but then he was also they were trying to use some of those woolly mammoth looking things as like bait, but like the fucking
The banthas.
Yeah, the banthas, and then but the fucking dragon kept eating the fucking sand people.
I think Tusken Raiders and banthas have been used more in every Star Wars universe than a lot of other creatures and characters.
Yeah. But well, I mean, it's a cool little visual. And,
Yeah.
And if you're on Disney Plus and you go to the extras feature, I think it's on YouTube too. They actually go into a deep dive of how they actually created the autonomy of the crate dragon and how it would move under the sand.
Now, is this the one where they have the pod race speeders?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
it's like
how,
a blown out
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
pod
that's
race.
how they had to get
Yeah.
out there. I thought that was so cool because I think one of them was Anakin's.
Yeah, with the blue, with the yellow tri. Yeah.
Just something cool for folks that have kept up with it for a long time too.
And now let me ask you guys this. We've kind of brought it up in different ways, but I'll even use that one as an example. People call that fan service.
Mm-hmm.
Does that bother you when those little things happen?
Do fans pay money to see this?
Yeah.
Then it's not a fucking problem, is it?
Yeah.
As long as you're paying money to see it, man.
Because
a Star Wars thing.
Because honestly, it's like as soon as I saw that scene, it made me go, oh, hey, I recognize that piece. But immediately after that, the secondary thought in my head was these message boards and groups I'm in on Facebook, I can just see it now. They're going to start bitching and complaining that all that was fucking fan service and everything else. I'm like, it's
here's what you do.
But it's a junkyard planet. They're going to repurpose shit.
Here's what you do. Don't go to those. Fuck all those people.
Well, I don't go to them. It's just you wind up seeing it anyway.
It's like any other thing when you watch it, like a horror movies. If I don't see a little bit of TNA, fuck, it's not like I'm watching it for the fucking plot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You were absolutely
it's fan
correct.
service. It's like, oh, this movie is shit. This is a literally pile of shit.
Do y'all know what?
Here's a young actress showing some shit off.
Do y'all know what Timothy Olyphant's character's name was?
Without Raylan.
Space Raylan.
Gibbons.
Wasn't it something like the general, the
Marshal?
the sheriff, the marshal, the sheriff?
Well, they give him a name in the description. His name is Cobb Vanth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I hate the names of Star Wars.
I know it. It's awful. He's just the marshal. And again,
Okay, yeah.
and again, Timothy Olyphant's always a fucking marshal. He's a marshal in this, in the new Fargo series, in that new season, and was a marshal in fucking
Deadwood. And
he was in Dead. Was a marshal in Deadwood too,
Justified.
and Justified. I still need to watch Deadwood.
he gets casted pretty well. A lot of stuff is the same thing.
But I really liked his character though.
I just don't understand. Like I said, I don't like the names.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like,
it's stupid
oh,
ass
this is
name.
Maz Fortuna. This is so and so. This is Luke,
yeah.
and this is Ben. You know what I'm saying? This is Queen Amidala. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? This is like this
Obi-Wan.
This is Kim.
This is Kim. Meanwhile, this is Conrad. This should be the next character, main character.
Anyway, they all have names that are like in a fucking H.P. Lovecraft book. So like no vowels and like 26 fucking letters. Kosverfluften. And you know, like some Norwegian garbled, vomited shit.
Anakin.
Here's Uncle Owen.
Here's
Aunt
Anakin.
Varu.
Here's Anakin. We call him fucking Annie.
Here's Uncle
Annie,
Owen,
okay.
also known as Matches. What's up, human torch?
But solid fucking episode though.
Yeah.
Yep. And then episode 2, chapter 10, The Passenger, is
Oh,
where we
yeah.
meet the frog lady.
And after
And her delicious children.
yes. Although when I watched this episode for the first time, my first thought was, okay, here's where they're catering to children a little bit more. Got a little not too anything, but that was just one of those where it's like, okay, they're starting to take a little bit of the blood and guts out of it a little bit to tell a Baby Yoda story, even though Baby Yoda's eating fucking
I was going to say,
eggs.
I saw online a bunch of people, like, you know, those articles that get shared or whatever, of like moms tweeting out saying like their children were like genuinely upset seeing the child.
Well, you failed as a parent then.
Eating the eggs.
Really, that's what got him?
Like, seriously, that got kids upset.
That's what got him. Not,
That's what
not,
got
not,
him.
Again.
Not in the series where people get cut in half.
Nope.
Or
Nope.
decapitated.
Again,
Nope.
they failed as parents.
No, they're bitching about stuff that isn't there.
Yeah, it's like mom and dad eat eggs every day.
Like, literally to the point where it wasn't Favreau, but like one of the other like directing producers on it.
Kathleen Kennedy.
No, not even. Like one of the lower ranking ones. He even sent out a tweet basically kind of going, hey guys, you know, remember, this is, you know, space fantasy, and, you know, to this alien life form, this is no different than eating chicken eggs. So please view this all within context.
And stop your fucking bitching.
Yeah, basically.
People like that are the reason there's instructions on the side of the Pop-Tart box.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And there's like 7 instructions on that. I will say they put a guy in there. Remember Zero, the robot?
Yeah.
That's who's voiced it. It's I think his name is Trevor Ayo. Mm-hmm. He's in that show, The It Crowd.
Okay.
He's a comedian. He's a British comedian.
I know of it, yeah.
Yeah, he's a black guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah. I know
He
who
was
you're
in
talking about now.
he was in that movie with Ben Stiller in them where they were like the Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like, he was always like, yeah, like everybody's talking about what's going to happen when they're on the Neighborhood Watch, and he's like, yeah, and I'll just casually walk up to this house and. Mrs. Kim opens the door and offers me to join her orgy, and it's just like, dude, your weird ass fantasies about people in this neighborhood, and then in the movie, there's an actual orgy
Yes.
he's invited to.
He wound up being the alien, didn't he?
Yeah. But he's just like, every time he remembers things, he's like, yeah, everybody's fucking in that house. He's like, it's a swinger house. And he's just like, no, it's not, dude. And by the time at the end of the movie, he's like, yeah, this is a swinger house.
I forgot about that fucking movie.
Oh, it's hilarious. John Favreau is in that fucking
That's right. He didn't
Vince
direct
Vaughn?
this episode, but
Vince Vaughn and all them.
God, this before
That's a fun movie.
this was before John Favreau became
They had to change
capital
that
J
name.
John
They
Favreau.
had to change the name of that.
What was it going to be called?
It was called The Neighborhood Watch, but then they had to call it The Watch because the
thought
whole
it was-
Trayvon Martin thing happened right before it came out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yay, 2014. How about that?
Yeah, it really does seem like this one felt a little bit like filler, but at the same time I was still excited because it was a new creature.
Yeah.
And I will say, one of the things I thought was gonna happen before fucking the kids started eating the eggs, I thought the entire time he was gonna use some sort of force power on the egg and wind up fertilizing it. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to speed up the process of one of the eggs.
It's like, this is why Jedi don't fuck. We conceive with the Force.
and you know, I would have, that kind of would have been maybe an interesting plot where all of a sudden you just see the child put
For
his hand
somehow
on the
what he
glass.
just described sounds more gross. Like than fucking. Like it just seems like, oh, they could fertilize through the Force. You mean like they could spread it?
Midichlorians, bro.
They could spread an infection. Yes. Like it just sounds gross. Like let me just use the Force on you. That sounds really rapey to begin with.
Baby, I'm going to use the force on you. What?
It's like, Joseph, let me tell you what happened when Gabriel came to the visit
Safe
last
word is
night.
Karth. It's like, I can't even spell that.
But no, I just thought that would have been cool. See the kid put his hand up against the glass.
Yeah.
An egg moved closer to it.
I think it would have been funnier if he lifted the egg out of the glass and like cracked it open over a hot pan.
He's just whistling.
And one cool
He's
scene.
whistling fucking Steamboat Willie the whole time.
Fuck it, they got the rights.
Disney motherfucker.
But I did think it was cool when they went into that ice cave.
Yeah.
And all those
Yeah.
fucking spiders came out and shit. That
Yeah,
was
some Lord of
cool
the Rings
as hell.
All the practical effects they used in this were really fucking cool, too.
And they were. I watched one of those because every time they wrap up a season, they wind up doing one of those gallery episodes where they
watched
kind of
it.
show the making of.
I watched that, too.
Yeah, and that was even those spider designs were apparently based on old Ralph McQuarrie art, which is why it really had that genuine kind of like organic Star Wars feel to it.
And Ralph McQuarrie was...
He was the concept artist for the original 3 movies.
Oh, okay.
Specifically the first 2. He did a little bit on the third, but the first movie he was the primary artist on, and then second one he also kind of helped move that along too.
So you're getting quality.
Yeah. But the one scary thing though is like ever since the Disney reboot, they've been pulling Ralph McQuarrie style art to put in it, like rejected pieces. So like for instance, Force Awakens. When they're walking into that town and they've got the that big overpass looking thing that eventually the Millennium Falcon fucks up as they're flying away on, that little arch was an old piece of artwork that Ralph had that just never got used.
Yeah.
So eventually they're going to run out of these pieces.
I was going to say, is he still alive or has he been dead for a long time?
I think he's been dead for a while. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Someone's probably yelling at us on the Discord right now because
I know
of it.
it.
Sorry, Paul. But no, yeah, I think he has passed. But either way, they're gonna run out of shit. But yeah, but no, I thought that part was pretty cool. But he fucks up the Razor Crest pretty fucking good. And
that was directed by Peyton Reed. That's another thing that's interesting about, just all the Disney series in general, or Mandalorian seasons in general. It's like the amount of the directors they use for every episode are all, pretty big heavyweights in their industry and everything too, and they all have different takes, but still are able to tell a cohesive story together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I forgot this one also had a callback at the beginning of it. Some X-wing fighters were trying to pull him over,
Yeah.
and then at the end they catch him again, and he's just like motherfuck, and then they're like, well, we heard you did some good shit. We're gonna let you go. And then he was just like, well, can you help me fix my ship? And they're like, fuck you. They fly away.
Way to go, rebels.
I know.
Right?
I know. That's the funny thing is like the few times we do see like rebels in the show, they're dicks.
Yeah.
The rebels are fucking assholes in this series.
That's what like when you meet up with them, it's like, hey, fuck Red Leader. They die like a bitch.
We're seeing what happens when the rebellion wins.
Then we got episode 3, chapter 11, the Harris or
The Heiress.
Harris. It's the Harris, y'all.
Kamala Harris.
New planet Trask. The Frog Lady reunites with her husband, and they wind up meeting up with Bo-Katan.
And her WWE friend.
Bo-Katan was where all the squid people were, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bo-Katan is a person. Trask was the name of the planet.
Trask, that's what it was.
Yeah. And that was the one. And I'm probably stepping in some fucking hot water here, opening up a door for Chris. But it really felt like there were some big time racist undertones in this episode to the calamari.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, Mando the entire time, he's like, fucking calamari. And I'm just like, God damn.
Even though they are like the flagship characters in the Star Wars fight. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, again, they're the most consistently used character, one of the more consistently used species in the fucking Star Wars universe.
But it just felt very odd that he was kind of using it almost as like a racial slur. I'm just like, just with the vibe he was putting out with it.
This is a bounty hunter. This isn't a rebellion leader or anything like that. It's like watching The Sopranos. You're watching a group of just awful people.
Oh, that's what you just watch.
Fucking Mandalorian. I can't do it right now. I have to watch the fucking Sopranos again.
Yep.
Fucking Grugo over here eating all the fucking eggs.
I thought this was a good episode though because there were some pretty intense moments. I liked the moment where he was invited on the ship by that one fucking dude. I had seen that creature before. I think he was a Jedi or something in one of the prequels, or a creature like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but these were not good guys. But the fucking scene of them snatching the child away and then kicking him into the water and then closing the gate, that was super intense.
Yeah, like all the action sequences throughout this whole season are. They've really stepped their game up some too. Mm-hmm. And Bryce Dallas Howard directed this one too. So there's
Ron Howard's daughter.
Yeah, Ron Howard's daughter. So there's a lot of storytelling genes involved in this one too.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, there was just a bunch of moments in that just really felt like good and intense. And I honestly felt for the Mandalorian because he's been just trying to find more of his kind the entire time.
I just want some friends.
Yeah, and it's like the previous episode, he doesn't know who the fuck Boba Fett is. He just looks as another Mandalorian, so he's like, kind of like a little, I wouldn't say excited, but maybe like hopeful that he finally found like another one of his kind, and then all of a sudden he takes the helmet off and he's like, wait, who the fuck are you? And then in this episode, he's like, oh shit, there's 3 of them. And then all 3 take off their helmets, and he's just like, son of a bitch.
And Bo-Katan is the one from the TV show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know that's been a big character and a big, a very popular character for folks that watch. Was it Rebels or was it the other one?
Rebels.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Star Wars fans. Shut the fuck up. I have things to do. I
don't watch the animated series either,
There's too much Star Wars now.
There is.
There really is too much Star Wars now, so sorry.
Why do you think we've not finished the trilogy watch-alongs?
Because they're awful.
They're not awful. It's just they wrote a character who was terrible.
Right.
And they put all of them in a movie.
Nah, but I like Bo-Katan a lot, too.
Yeah.
She's one of the few characters I really hated this season.
Really?
I was just uppity Mandalorian.
All right. Well, explain that. I'm curious.
I just, the whole dynamic of the Mandalorians is they're defeated people.
Yeah.
And I understand that. At no point does she ask Mando, like, hey, where's the rest of you? Mm-hmm. She's supposed to be this queen of some shit to the Mandalorians.
Trying to get the sword back.
But at no point is she actively trying to help and find other Mandalorians. like the ones who disappeared in episode, like the last episode of season 1.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? It's just this, it bothers me that like, oh, I just want a fucking sword. Mm-hmm. And they made her more dynamic in the Rebel show, but even then she was just like one-sided, one mind, kind of just like
Pretty one-dimensional.
and I'm just like, if I shot you in the fucking knee right now, no one would know your fucking name.
And you know me, I don't like jumping around the episodes too hard, but I saw this online, and it 100% actually kind of plays into what you're talking about here. In that scene, Mando was talking to them about, you know, the whole not taking the helmet off, all that bullshit, and she's just like, that's stupid rules that are made up by the old gods, you know, that's hokey religion bullshit, you know, don't follow that. Fast forward to the end of the fucking series, Mando's trying to hand her the sword, and she's like, I can't take it, I have to win it in a battle, it's one of the rules. I'm sorry. Earlier, you were just fucking bitching to Mando about not taking his helmet off. Now you won't take a goddamn sword?
So I would have shot her when I met her.
Yeah.
So that actually does kind of lend to what you were saying on that sub. So she's
just
inconsistency even with her own mindset.
It's just she wants one thing, and it's not that important. I understand it's a relic and
Yeah.
everything, and it's a like Jesus Christ, like get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
It doesn't Moff Gideon come back in this episode, or at least according to this, he comes back saying he's given instructions to crash the ship.
Yeah, he's kind of a looming cutaway a couple times for a few episodes. Like he
Man
gets
in
maybe
Black
like 2 minutes of screen time per episode for a little bit.
But you got to remember, he's still like flying to Albuquerque to sell meth too.
Right. and kind of setting up international relations with the boys and all that shit too.
I was waiting for that one. I was like, he's also
Giancarlo
taking care of Homelander, so I mean,
And plus, you know, he's doing work for Far Cry 6, and it's,
He's just good at being a bad guy, isn't he?
Giancarlo Esposito, man, it's the shit.
nah, he really is. Honestly, he's one of my new favorite villains in the Star Wars universe. Like, he is genuinely good.
You never watched Breaking Bad, did you?
No,
all the way
I
through?
didn't.
Oh, dude,
He's
then
more
if you-
terrifying as Gus Fring.
yeah, watch him in that. You'll love it.
The Chicken Man.
I
know.
will eventually break down and watch Breaking Bad. It just,
It's work. It is a little work, but it's worth it.
I know, and that was the problem is I didn't have cable when it first came out, and they weren't putting that shit on Netflix initially. So by the time it went on Netflix, it was like 4 or 5 seasons in,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I'm really not interested now.
Hell, that might have been the TV show that kind of catapulted everybody wanting to binge everything.
Oh, and I'm not saying it's a bad show. I've just genuinely never watched it.
I know it's a Star Wars show. I just thought of that, 10, 15 years later, whenever that fucking show initially came out.
But yeah, so
But yeah, that's about all that happens in that episode.
yeah, but this was another scene that I really thought was interesting because this is when they hop on the ship and they commandeer it, and this was when they kind of show that the Empire is super fucking in it, and I saw probably one like. You know when you see things like for the first time, how it can kind of hit you a little different. And then it's like after you watch it a few times, you're just like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool as hell. Something about Gideon telling that pilot, he's just like, no, you take the ship down. And he's just like, understood.
Yeah.
And like how all of a sudden it was a suicide mission, and he was just like, for the Empire. And I'm just like, God damn, like that hit a little different the very first time I saw it.
Because we haven't gotten a villain like that outside of a movie, really.
No, and we've also not seen the Empire like willingly die for a cause like that, kind of brainwashing cult-like mentality.
Not unless the games and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of seeing it in the forefront like that for the first time just kind of was a little unsettling for the first time viewing it. You're just like,
We're just like, oh, this shit.
damn.
And there's moments like that all throughout this season.
And that's what was just pretty impressive to me about it. There was a few like, God damn.
It's like the Empire may be gone, but they're still like fringe.
Evil motherfuckers.
Yeah. That are like super crazy about it now. It's like when Al Qaeda split and then they all had their, the power vacuum came and they all became, their own little subgroups.
Yeah. And then episode 4, chapter 12, The Siege. And
Directed by Carl Weathers.
yes.
Apollo Creed.
Yep.
And now is it? I wonder how it is to like be in an episode and direct it at the same time.
I imagine it's very personable.
Yeah.
Because you're in it.
And apparently this was him dipping his toe into directing in general, if you watch the behind-the-scenes deal for this episode.
Yeah.
And you know what's kind of interesting is I look at someone like Carl Weathers, and I know this is a bad assumption to make, but it's like I look at someone like him and I go, he can't enjoy this. You know, he has to be doing this for a paycheck, you know? But then you actually watch the behind the scenes things and you're like, holy shit, he's actually like paying attention to the lore and like getting into it.
The thing about Carl Weathers, he really enjoys action sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing it for a long time. Predator, Rocky,
he's in a lot of comedies too where he makes fun of it. He's in Happy Gilmore, for fuck's sake.
yeah, he gets his fucking arm chewed off.
But like when it comes to action, you know, he knows, he's kind of like Arnold. He knows there's humor. And they just love being in the action genre because he's built for that, because you can't tell it by looking at him.
He's like 70 something.
Yeah, but he's like built like a brick shithouse because he used to be a bodybuilder, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
and like he's a solid dude. Like I wouldn't want to fight that motherfucker even at this age. Like.
I'm about to look up how old he is.
But that's also kind of my point, though, is like even at his age, and like you hear the way he talks and everything, he is very well spoken and educated, and it seems like the actors that are like very well spoken, educated, take their craft super seriously like that they look at something like Star Wars or a Marvel film and go, oh, that's just fluff popcorn mumbo jumbo bullshit. So to actually just see someone, you know, that, you know, is clearly, you know, just so defined as an actor enjoy himself in the field of Star Wars, especially at that age, was just really nice to see.
At the ripe old age of 73.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we're also in a Star Wars universe where story absolutely fucking matters now.
Yeah.
And the story is taken more seriously and not just thrown together as a fucking Happy Days reunion or some shit like that.
Yeah. And this is the episode where they find out they're trying to capture the kid because they're trying to get more blood because Dr. Pershing, the Nazi-looking Imperial fucking
the guy with the
scientist.
glasses.
Yeah. And he even talks with like a German accent too. I'm just like, y'all are trying.
Yeah, y'all are really reaching for the Nazi personality with these
You gotta
guys.
remember, man. You gotta remember those uniforms.
Yeah.
Fucking crisp.
I mean, I guess they're not called stormtroopers for no reason.
Yeah.
Like South Park, I will say South Park does a really good thing about this.
I like
the
that
member
one.
berries.
Yes.
He's like, do you guys remember stormtroopers? Yeah, I remember stormtroopers and Ewoks. He's like,
And the old one rolls out.
No, I'm talking about stormtroopers. It's like, oh, you're talking about Nazis. Ah, shit.
We also get more Force lore where the child's blood has a high M count.
Yeah, they bring back the Mandalorian thing, but they just kind of
Midichlorians.
Mandalorian
Midichlorians.
Mandalorian is a different kind of disease.
Mandalorians.
Mandalorians attack the penis. They have to wear a little helmet on it.
It shoots lasers. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh damn, he's got a bad case of dick lasers.
Must have a high M count.
But yeah, so I thought that was
bitches.
interesting. They kind of reworded it to M count, and they're kind of keeping the midichlorians going. How do you guys feel about that?
It's a canon, so you can't really do nothing about it.
Yeah,
What do you think about midichlorians in general, though? With enough time kind of passed.
It's still fucking
It's
stupid.
yeah. It's like
it's fucking terrible,
Don't
man.
make up a fake
You could have
science.
just said there's an energy in the universe that it's attracted to certain people. That's all you had to fucking say.
You put a fake science to your fake religion.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's so stupid. But I will say, like, I didn't notice it until like I had to watch it a second time. Horatio Sands is in this.
Yeah, Horatio Sands is the blue guy. He's in this
Mithril or-
episode.
Yeah, Mithril.
I thought he was a pretty funny character.
Because he's an SNL alum.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he had like genuine good like comedy timing and stuff like that.
He hadn't done anything in a long time that I can think of.
He's,
Was that my speeder?
Yeah.
he's oh fuck, what was he? I want to say he's in. I forget what movie it was. I think it's Tomcats. He's in that, but I can't remember anything else.
I can't either.
He might have been one of the Happy Gilmore movies.
He did.
Or
He did a
those
lot of
Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, he did a lot of just movies that came in theaters and I never saw. He was '80s Billy Joel in Step Brothers.
That's right. He's like, woo, Piano Man. He's like, sir, we're only doing...
We're only doing '80s era Billy Joel.
He's like, woo, come on, Piano. I said. He's like, boo, play Piano Man. He's like, motherfucker. He just gets off the stage, starts stomping his ass.
That might have been his most famous movie role.
Woo!
What did you guys think of the chase scene at the end with the TIE fighters and the Cardoon? No, was it Cardoon? Yeah,
Yeah.
with her character and Carl Weathers trying to get away.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the action scenes in this are pretty fucking sweet.
I laughed my ass off at the start of that battle when the scout troopers hopped on the fucking their little dirt bike speeder things and fucking was going down that hill. I'm watching it and all the fucking rocks and everything, and I'm going, really? They're gonna navigate all of that? And okay, whatever. And then sure enough, one guy bounces just wrong, hits another guy, and like 2 or 3 of them get wiped out in the middle of like trying to go down there. I'm just like, oh yes, thank you. That's fucking hilarious.
Carl Weathers and Jon Favreau were both like, we know y'all thought about this.
And I liked how Mando got to have a Han Solo moment.
Yeah.
How he just swooped in last minute and ticked off those last couple TIE fighters for everyone. They're like, oh shit, yeah.
At least he didn't say, yee-haw.
Well, he could have given a salute.
Right?
I think it was in the Discord, Paul brought it up, the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
And I get it, the Rocketeer is a good, but the salute thing, still fucking stupid.
That's why I brought it up. Yep, and the wrap up on this one is you found out that in the previous episode, or actually at the beginning of this episode, an Imperial spy was actually working on the Razor Crest and put a tracker on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now they know where he is at all times.
They go to Corvus for their next destination.
Yes, episode 5, chapter 13, The Jedi. This was one of my favorite episodes of the season.
And again, they brought a character from the TV show into this.
Yeah, Rebels
Ahsoka.
and Clone Wars.
Yeah, another character that I didn't know anything about before this.
And Ahsoka only goes ass to mouth sometimes in the heat of the moment.
I would have loved that part of the movie where old boy just came back into the room. I fucking knew it. Like,
That's why our M count is so fucking high.
oh, and what's his name is in this movie or in this episode? Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one's Michael Biehn?
he's in like every '80s movie. He played Johnny Ringo in, in Tombstone.
that guy,
He played in Aliens. He played fucking the guy that was fucking Sarah Connor in
I
Terminator.
was to say, it was in the first Terminator?
Michael Reese, yeah,
I
Kyle Reese.
didn't realize he was fucking Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, that's Johnny Ringo. He's the I want to say he's the only one that couldn't grow a mustache.
But he kind of has a mustache. Oh,
He's got a fake mustache, but that's why his mustache looks so weird to his face.
Right.
But everybody grew a mustache except for him. But yeah, he's Johnny Ringo.
What does fucking Val Kilmer say to him? Where it's just like, well, I don't feel, I guess I'm not dying today, or
he's
something
like-
along those lines.
He's like, he pulls out he shows that badge.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, it's legal." And it's like, "Oh fuck, he's gonna light this motherfucker up."
Oh, don't get me
My
started.
fight's not with you, Lunger.
Don't get me started. We'll do a whole podcast on Tombstone.
We're just for the rest of the episode, for the next hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, we're just going to be quoting that movie.
The reason I really like this one, and I even count the fucking new movies too, this is the first time since the prequel movies we have seen an established Jedi genuinely have a lightsaber battle.
Yep.
Yep.
Because even in the new movies, none of them were Jedi. They were just swinging around fucking lightsabers, just brawling, which is fine. But Ahsoka was fighting with a purpose. She was calculated. She moved quick. She moved like a Jedi.
It was paced like a kung fu movie.
Yes, it really exactly. This movie
Jedi style.
See, I did it too, Chris. This episode really had a kung fu movie vibe to
Tiger
it.
style.
Because that's what those old Star Wars movies were supposed to be. Kung fu meets hero.
Space Western,
Yeah,
Seven
space-
Samurai.
Exactly. Seven Samurai Space Western. Exactly.
Yeah.
And now they're getting back into that with this series with the Jedi fights.
Yeah.
And I really liked Lang.
That's Michael Biehn. Yeah.
Do what?
It was Michael Biehn.
Johnny Ringo.
Okay. Then who am I? Morgan. Morgan Elsbeth. That's what I'm thinking of. That I liked her character a lot.
The big bad.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. She had a good menacing presence to her.
Does she get killed or does she escape?
She gets got at the end.
She gets got at the end. Okay, it's been a minute. It's been since
I couldn't
before
remember
Christmas.
I couldn't remember if she died or just got reprimanded.
But she also gives. Surrenders the spear
Exactly.
because she fights with the spear.
And that's what I was saying. That's what gave it that real like kung fu vibe because that's when you learn that a lightsaber can't cut through Beskar.
Yep.
And so you actually have that fight with Ahsoka and her in that fucking beautiful kind of like water garden area.
That kind of reminded me of Kill Bill.
Yeah.
When Uma Thurman has to fight Lucy Liu.
And
great pull. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I like that.
If you take the music away and just start playing that music for fucking Kill Bill, that
spaghetti western sound of music.
Yeah, it's fucking that Ennio Morricone shit.
And I also
I want the next Star Wars movie to have that so bad.
and so far we've kind of talked
I
about
want to hear
like
it
the
breaking
big
the ruckus.
and so far we've talked about like the big actiony scenes, like Ahsoka's intro and and the fight, in the water garden, but a lot of really good exposition too. Like we actually find out the kid's name, Grogu. Now
This
he
is
eats-
the episode.
And I think it's the same episode. You find out he eats macaroons.
yes.
Yeah, somebody gave him a macaroon.
Oh, that was the previous episode.
Yeah, like,
sorry,
what
I
the
forgot
fuck?
to mention that one.
So macaroons are real. Okay,
Yeah, macaroons are fucking universal.
frost cookies.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the previous episode. I forgot to mention that. That was a pretty funny moment where Grogu was kind of looking at the kid next to him and was just like, "Hey, yo, can I like have one of those?" And the kid clearly was just like, "These are mine, motherfucker." It's like
fuck no.
It's like there was no words exchanged between either, but like
That's when Grogu's like,
Just kind of gives him.
yeah, Grogu just lifts his hand and he was like, yoink. It takes the whole fucking thing.
Kind of like gives him a little stink eye too.
Like, fuck you. I said I wanted those.
Sith motherfucker.
That's when the Baby Yoda turns or Grogu turns.
Yeah.
By the way, how'd y'all feel about the name reveal? We all just like, nah, fuck that. It's Baby Yoda.
I really actually no feeling about it. It's
I
your
didn't
name and a
make-
character.
Yeah.
I was thrilled that we finally got a name. That way people would hopefully quit calling him Baby Yoda.
I would have liked to name it the species more.
And you know what? I'm really interested that they haven't revealed that part of it yet. Of all things, they still haven't revealed the name of the species, which is odd. But no,
Kind of leave a little bit of mystery in the Star Wars universe.
yeah. But the name Grogu,
Like the Force.
I was torn on the name because the first time I heard it, I heard Groku.
Like Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, that's all I thought.
That's gonna be him when he gets
4
older.
episodes later.
No, that's when fucking
No, that's WandaVision if you look online.
no. Disney's gonna buy out the production company that does Dragon Ball Z, and they're gonna do
Oh
crossovers.
god! But no, so when I heard the name Grogu,
Super
I thought
Saiyan
Grogu. And
Yeah.
so that was the only disconnect I had. I was like, they could have picked a better fucked up name to use than that.
Again, we're in a world where people have names like we said, all these outlandish names, and then there's Ben and Luke.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, but there was a lot of
I
really
would have
nice
been happy if it was like a
visual-
1 syllable name.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
This is Chuck. Tell me how fun that would have been if his name was Chuck or something of that effect. Like, this is Puck.
The Jedi Master Brian.
Jedi Master Chad.
But I thought there was a lot of really nice visuals in this one, like Ahsoka and Grogu kind of sitting up on the rock, having like that force talk.
Well,
with, like,
that whole
the moon
fight is
behind
kind of
them.
like when you first see her, like when she pulls out them lightsaber, it's real dark and shady, you know.
Let me tell you about the Force. This is the Jedi version of the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
You see what happens is that midichlorians can impregnate, unfertilized eggs if you use the Force well enough.
And so Ahsoka winds up winning the battle, and she winds up giving the spear to the Mandalorian because she's like, "This belongs to you. It's Beskar."
You are worthy.
Yeah, basically. And that made me kind of stoked because all of a sudden I'm less like, "Oh shit, my boy's got a melee weapon now. So I'm just like, oh yeah.
Jetpacks, blasters, gunships.
So now I'm just sitting here going, I was like, shit's going to kick into high gear. I can't wait to see him use this fucking thing.
So as great as the character of Mandalorian is, the thing that sells him is his, arsenal of fucking weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the, what are they called? Those needles in his arm? There's little rockets on his wrist.
Yeah, that
Or some
too.
shit.
Oh, fuck.
It's named after a bird. Sparrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
I was going to say, I just always called them just like little wrist rockets.
I got my wrist rockets.
Pew, pew.
And then episode 6, chapter 14, The Tragedy.
Oh, yeah, this is the Boba Fett episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might as well not even bury the lead on this one. Boba Fett fucking returns on this one.
Do you remember watching the behind-the-scenes thing with Robert Rodriguez on this episode?
Yeah, he's like just sitting there playing a fucking guitar and shit.
He's sitting there just playing a guitar, and then he gets so into it when he talks about when he gets the phone call to direct Boba Fett. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm going to direct Boba Fett's return. This is the greatest moment of my film career."
Yeah, and he like literally
Didn't you make Dust Till Dawn, you piece of shit? Like, one of the greatest vampire movies of all time? Like, vampire western?
Well, to be fair-
Technically, it's 2 movies, motherfucker.
It really is.
So, like,
it starts out as one thing.
this is your biggest fucking moment?
Well, to be fair, it is like you are bringing back everybody's favorite fucking character too.
If he puts Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney in The Mandalorian as just 2 guys traveling, that'd be the shit.
Just like getting drunk and just like getting out of jams and Tatooine.
Harvey Keitel's got 2 kids in tow, in like a fucking space RV.
I want to see this movie.
And fucking Dark Knights was playing. Cheech Marin selling pussy.
Yes.
But yeah, so it starts out with Mando dropping the kid off on a rock because Ahsoka said, take him to the Seeing Rock and he'll call a Jedi.
That's the problem I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Ahsoka doesn't really have much to do. She doesn't really explain like what she's doing.
Yeah, she's very vague.
After she defeats old girl, gets the spear, gives it to him. She's like, "Here, take him here, and you'll be good to go."
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
really,
it's like
Take him here, he'll call a Jedi something.
at no point as a Jedi has the precept of, you know what? I'll ride with you just in case. Just in case.
Yeah.
And when we get there, he'll do his little thing. I'll help him. I'll even show him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you know dick about the Jedi, really, other than the fact that we're magicians.
Where's the button to push?
Yeah, where's the button to push? Yeah. Where's the thing I have to stab to get this motherfucker on his toes? But
Well, no, that's what he said when he looked at the rock. He was like, is there a button we gotta push?
Yeah, it's a very layman term. You know. It's like, do you plug him in? Like, do I shove another rock in him or something? Like,
do the thing?
yeah, do it. I was waiting for him to give me like a little love tap, like a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, work, goddammit.
Do the roar.
But at no point it's just like, oh man, be really cool if you came along. In hindsight, and I could he still could have got took with her there, but I'm still like, I think it would have been cooler if her like dropping 2 of those droids.
Oh yeah,
and then one like, fuck this, and snatching them and dipping.
Nah, her thing was just like, I'm here to drop in for a second just to plug in the show that I'm gonna do a whole series on
and
Disney
honestly,
Plus.
I can't wait for that. I think that's gonna be cool.
I would like the Mando to show in. It's like, hey, bitch.
Yeah.
Bro,
And also, I'm really happy it was Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
She fit that role perfect. Because she has always been a fucking like nerd from the start. She's campaigned this and she's wanted it. And it's
she's a
like
good
you
actress.
can,
Anyway.
and it's like you can tell by her role, like her portrayal of it, she wanted it.
I think I remember hearing somebody talk about her. I think it was Kevin Smith or something like that, saying that the only thing left on our list is Star Trek.
Yeah, basically.
I can see them doing Star Trek.
And in this one, So
Oh yeah, we talked about Boba Fett in the beginning. Haven't mentioned it since.
Yeah. Well, Grogu all of a sudden turns fucking, Buddha, legs crossed, hands out, fucking bullshit with the fucking blue around him.
I got to get my M count up, bruh.
Mando can't get in, and all of a sudden, off in the distance, we see a familiar ship land, and we're like, oh fuck! And sure enough, it's Boba Fett. Now, before this episode, okay? Before the episode opinions, what did you guys genuinely feel? I feel like we talked about it a little bit on the last episode, but as a recap, what did you guys really think about Boba Fett before this series?
Before the series, I thought he was an overrated character that, looked cool. And yeah, it was a toy. He was an action figure. With no depth whatsoever.
So
A blind man whooped his ass.
Yeah.
accidentally.
That's what it's called when you get your ass whooped by a blind man. A blind man said, I beat you with skill, motherfucker.
And his whole point in Return of the Jedi is to like show off all his little gadgets.
Yeah. So how do you guys now feel about him kind of seeing the action role he was given?
I'm glad he's back. I'm glad they got the guy that played Django.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really great pull.
And that guy's a great actor anyway.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's his name? Jason Momoa. He's like one of the few actors is like, oh my God, I can't do Aquaman without this man.
Yeah.
Because he's in that movie too. And he's a big...
Fennec Shand is the... Wait, no.
the guy that plays the guy that plays
person.
Boba Fett is a big... what do you call it? It's what The Rock is.
Samoan?
Samoan.
Okay, yeah.
He's big in the Samoan community. And... him being in it is awesome.
And watching the behind the scenes, he was so excited to get to play Boba Fett. Like, he was loving every
I can't wait till they bring
it.
back fucking Ray Park.
Yeah. Tamura Morrison is the guy's name.
Okay.
I might be saying it wrong.
I thought
FYI.
I thought it was cool as hell, and
Still Morrison.
and I will say, fucking brutal fights with him.
Oh man, he beat that
his
fucking
fight
stormtrooper
style-
today with a stick.
Yeah, his fight style is brutal.
It's like, holy shit, he's a warrior.
Yeah, and I'm glad they brought what's her name, the sniper.
yeah, they brought her back too.
Yeah, that's the
Dude,
Fennec Shand.
right now she's on the like Disney trifecta. Do you know that?
Okay.
She was the voice of Mulan.
Okay.
She's in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she plays Melinda May.
Okay.
And now she's in the Star Wars.
Nice.
Working her way up.
Dude, she sent the fucking the triple double, man. Like it's
She's gonna be a lead role. She's gonna be a new hero, a full on hero. She's gonna get her own hero flick here before too long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she was in Street Fighter.
Oh shit.
she was
I never
Chun-Li.
saw that either.
Oh, it's so terrible. that's why I never saw it. It's so good though.
And
It's like watching a dumpster catch on fire.
but yeah,
You can't take your eyes away from it.
I absolutely loved that first fight scene with Boba against the stormtroopers.
Oh
That
man, he's
was
just walking
so
up on him like it ain't
good.
shit. Even the other stormtroopers like backing the fuck up.
Yeah, like seriously, it's just like, I remember the one that got me too was writhing on the ground, like, oh my god, I'm done, kind of bullshit. Motherfucker just walking, dragging that fucking cane shit he had, and fucking
That's
whap.
that's the same cane they use for the Tusken Raiders.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we finally get a fight that Boba Fett does where, it's the fight we've been wanting to see on screen for decades now at this point.
Now, as fans, we enjoyed it, but as objective mindsets, do you think that was overkill to
No.
shut people up?
No,
Nah.
no.
No.
I don't even think about it like I take the fanboy comment on the internet thing out of it. It's
But
like, do
if
I
you was
like
to,
it?
If
Then-
you was to take it away from the Star Wars and just treat it as a story,
Right.
Let's say it was like the Old West. Like this motherfucker was left for dead.
Yeah.
We don't know much about him, but he was left for dead. He was a bounty hunter left for dead.
yeah.
He's going to come back hard. If you're going to bring him back, he's going to come back kind of like a John Wick character.
Yeah, there you go.
That
There you go.
I can't leave people alive to kill me later on. Like it's a very Total War mentality he's going to
Yeah.
have going in. Now he's not as one-sided as some other characters. He wants his armor, but he's got another thing he's got to do after that. Like he's going back to Tatooine. He's got other goals. He's got a schedule he's got to keep.
Yeah.
And meeting Mando is one of them.
Yeah.
So I love the whole Bo-Katan thing and the whole Mandalorian thing anyway.
Oh, well, actually, let's go ahead and get to that one because that's the next episode. This episode basically wraps up with the Dark Troopers, which, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Those were cool as shit.
They needed those motherfuckers.
Yeah. They go down there, rip the child out. Shoop,
I
yeet
think
back
they
up
have
to the
those
ship.
because the Praetorian Guard are shit.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be cool if it was the Praetorian Guard. You got to
That
get to
would've
see
been
what those
cool
things could do.
too,
Bunch of
yeah.
red. bunch of red shirts dropping down. Oh shit!
But yeah, so then after that, and then Mando runs back to fucking Cancel Lady and goes, "Hey, we need help." And then she winds up calling in fucking Mayfield. It's just like, yes, Bo Burnham's back.
We're breaking him out of jail.
We're breaking him out.
You say Bo Burnham?
I did.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Different comedian with 2 B's.
I know. I gotta get my alliterations mixed up. God damn it.
Hey, I need you to get in this spaceship, Slave 2. Jesus Christ, what is your first ship called? Genocide 1?
You helmet wearing fuck.
Hey, did you see the fucking Buccaneers, my boy? Huh? You see Brady?
Fucking Tom Brady, dude.
Oh my god.
The greatest of all time.
No, but his character is fucking great in this episode.
Oh god, he's awesome.
Yep. So yeah, rolling into that next episode, episode 7, chapter 15, The Believer, in which Dune uses her new credentials as a marshal of the New Republic to transfer Mayfield out and helps locate Moff Gideon's cruiser. And yeah, at the same time, Mando and Boba are running off trying to gain some extra assistance. And yeah, that scene with Bo-Katan and Boba Fett at the
I would
goddamn
let them though right there just tear each other apart.
That was so good. Oh my god. That was one, I would say maybe top 3 favorite little brawl moments because both of them were just shit talking the entire time. I wouldn't do that, princess. Don't call me princess. All that shit. I'm just like, God.
But
damn.
he pulls out his wrist. He's like, "Look, it's mine, bitch."
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. My favorite scene in this entire series is still in this one where
they're in the
both
cafeteria.
both Bill Burr and the Mando are in the cafeteria, wearing costumes.
Man, the subtlety of that fucking like. And they got one of the coolest guys to be the Imperial guy. Mm-hmm. He's in a lot of horror movies. He was in 3 from Hell, the Rob Zombie movie, and he always plays that nasty fucking horror character. He like gets in your face, and he's just sitting there talking about Operation Cinder. If you guys don't know what that is, it's on Battlefront 2, right after the second Death Star explodes. Mm-hmm. A robot is activated, and it's got the face. It's got a blank face, but a hologram of Palpatine's faces on it, and it has the last order on it, and the last order is Operation Cinder. The whole thing about Operation Cinder was it's a network of satellites that work like the Death Star.
Yeah,
that fire down below, and you actually fight that scene in the game.
Yeah,
and I'm so glad they brought that up because the game is canon.
It is,
and it's about a special forces stormtrooper who joins the rebellion, and you meet Luke Skywalker and all that. But I really love that they brought that up because Bill Burr survived that shit, and he does that mentality, that subtlety a little bit. He's like, "Why'd we do it? Mm-hmm. Why'd we have to?" It's like it's what I imagine an Iraqi war vet would say to Dick Cheney. Yeah, tell me why we had to take that fucking city, huh? You fucking piece of shit.
Well, even the lead up to that scene was really good because Mando was being questioned the entire time about, his,
we need you to take off your helmet.
honor, taking off the helmet. And it's like it was almost getting so inconvenient for him having to constantly having to wear the helmet and find new ways to wear a helmet and shit like that. So like the lead up, but at the same time, I'm probably in the minority here, but the one thing I kind of didn't care for, I felt it coming, but the one thing I didn't care for in this season was they created a lot more of a father-child relationship. And for some reason, that just felt a little too...
For Grogu and Mando?
Yeah. That felt a little too Disney to me. That part got a little eh.
I think it was necessary... or natural more than anything because they've been together. This will be a second season now.
Yeah.
He spent his whole time protecting this one thing.
But I guess just kind of comparing it to like a dad and child thing just kind of made me go like,
I feel like it. Well, think about it. All his people are dead.
Yeah, he doesn't have anybody.
Yeah,
he doesn't have any friends.
He's a child still. It's no different than
a boy and his dog.
Like a boy and a dog, or oh fuck! Like Up.
Well, see, and see,
like he takes care of that fucking Boy Scout asshole.
Yeah, but he never. But see, I would have liked it if they had kept it like that and never on the nose said he sees you like a father or like kind of had dad moments because, like with Up, they never. The grandpa never says you're like my kid. You know, that's why I felt like that kind of worked. It's like it was implied.
That's a span of a day. This is a span of almost a year, probably.
Yeah. Give or take 15 episodes.
You give, however time works in fucking Star Wars.
Right.
Honestly, kind of thinking back on this a little bit, I feel like season 1 and 2 was probably the span of about 2 to 3 weeks.
Could have been, yeah.
I feel like this is about a month of action.
I can see where you're coming from on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't either.
But I will say it was a good motivator for him taking off the helmet, doing the face scan, and all that shit.
And that Bill Burr didn't even have to say anything. They're just kind of looking at each other like, I ain't saying nothing.
And that was actually a really good scene when he was just like, "Hey, I didn't see nothing."
Yeah. I like when he walked up to him, the fucking Imperial guys walking up to Pedro Pascal, and he's just like, and here comes Bill Burr. Oh, this is Death Bill. Yeah. Mortar attack on Coruscant, man. It's fucking wild.
And that was great how he just immediately covers for him, too.
He can't hear for shit.
and I thought that was also a really cool character thing they did for Bill's character, because in the first time we see him in season 1, he's just kind of a little bit of a mercenary prick. He's basically just Bill Burr in space, you know.
He's just a bandit.
Yeah, so it's like for this one to kind of him still have that attitude. They didn't neuter the character. He still had the attitude, but for it to all of a sudden show, he has an attitude because he's actually kind of emotionally in tune, and he doesn't like what's going on.
He's a former soldier who's lost faith in what he was supposed to do. That's why he became a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
or whatever, a thug.
And that gave his character just so much more weight and like meaning that it really kind of pulled through.
The whole scene when they're at the table is very fucked up. Because he's sitting there being subtle as possible, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, fucking Empire all the way
to the Empire."
Yeah, sacrifice all this, and Bill Burr's like, "For what, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
The rebels have more fucking heart than you. And when he brought up Cinder, I'm like, fuck.
And that chuckle, and then he gets his Han shot first moment. I love the moment where Pedro, the Mando, does turn to him like, "Motherfucker, we're supposed to be incognito."
I would have loved it if they did the Kurt Russell thing from Tombstone, and where it's like everybody's standing at the OK Corral, then the music goes, whoa, and then it's Kurt Russell. Oh my god! Yeah.
This is the big shootout.
Just everybody's opening the fuck up on each other, and the poor bastard. I gotta bring this guy up. The poor bastard stormtrooper, who's just in the cafeteria. He's like, I was going to sit at the cool kids table, but y'all turned into fucking Columbine all of a sudden. I'm just going to put my goddamn tray down.
I guess I got to pull out my gun now.
I've only been here for 2 goddamn days.
There really was. There was like someone in the back seriously about to fucking sit down to eat, and it was just like, God damn it, now I got to take care of this.
Now I got to die. That poor bastard's been running transpo like the other guys and getting shot at and fucking by natives and shit.
And because of that, this might... I know the next episode is everybody's favorite episode in the whole series, but this one might be my favorite.
Honestly,
the siege is badass.
Yeah.
Honestly, this one and the previous episode, I think the last 3 are kind of tied for me. I think the last 3 were just all genuinely pretty fucking solid.
And this is the one director's name that I didn't recognize out of the rest of them. Rick Fu
Manchu.
Yeah. F-A-M-U-Y or Y-I. Famiwaya. Yeah.
That's an African name.
Gotcha. No, he's from Hawaii.
Yeah, but no, he's an African.
Oh, yeah.
I also like the ending of this one because they figure out where Gideon's ship is, and they're like, all right, we're going to get the motherfucker. And Mando sends a transmission.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you cunt.
Yeah.
He does
the whole you come to my house.
I'm bringing with me pain.
I do love that though. How he just basically rolls in. He's just like, I will find you. I will kill you.
It's the Rambo 2.
Yes,
I'm coming for you.
It really
it's like
was.
this fucking
It really
the
was.
sky gets dark. Even in the hologram, it gets a little dark, and it's just like even the hologram's scared because Gideon hearing that is like turn that shit off.
No, he even does have like this look on his face of like,
God damn it!
I no killer, but don't push me.
But then like the ending of it where he's got the dark
DMX or
saber
some
and he's
shit.
like waving it in front of the child's face and everything. He's
Yeah.
just like, "Hey, you want this, don't you?
Killing
Evil
stormtroopers.
motherfucker."
I would have loved if you just smashed one's helmet like while he's still wearing the helmet.
Right.
And then finally, episode 8, chapter 16, The Rescue. And yeah, this one's just full out brawl the entire fucking time.
Yeah, this is the fan service.
This is the culmination of like 2 seasons of just what everybody has been waiting for in a
Yeah.
Star Wars story.
Because you don't really have Boba Fett at all. He's MIA for the most of the episode.
No,
he fucked off after the second.
Yeah, but he did what he promised
Yep.
to do, and go back to that the Razor Crest getting destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the meme of it, and it still is like the funniest one out of the entire season. He's like, "Behold my stuff," and it's the Razor Crest blown the fuck up, but it's just the spear that's left. Behold my stuff.
I will actually, to rewind just a little bit. When that scene happened, like genuinely, like I didn't realize it until like a second or two later. My mouth actually opened a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Well, now what?
yeah, like literally, that was my thought. Was just like, okay, well, there goes that action figure.
I bring you these 10 commandments. But yeah, this episode, I forget what the everything that leads up to the very end. There's a lot of dark troopers.
Yeah, actually, reading on this one, we might have gotten a little bit confused. This was the one where they enlist the help of Bo-Katan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Kosa, yeah, so we
Is this the one where the Asian girl fights Bo-Katan's friend or whatever? Or is this when Boba Fett like kicks the shit out of her, like kicks her in the stomach?
possibly.
That Sasha Banks girl.
Okay. Sasha Banks, the wrestler?
Yeah, that's who her friend is.
No shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
what I said. WWE star. Like,
Shit, I didn't realize that. That's
yeah.
cool.
Knock down, drag out, man.
Fucking current WWE is just not on my radar other than what they're doing business wise, really.
Okay, yeah, this was the lead-in. We actually did see Boba Fett at the beginning. So part of the plan was for them to be able to crash land on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So he, Boba, was pretending like he was being chased by some people or whatever. It was kind of like flipping the script or whatnot. I forget exactly how it was working, but either way, it was to the point where he was trying to...
X-Wings. He was being chased by X-Wings.
It was the flip. The Bo-Katan and all of them were in a ship talking to them, going, "We're being chased by rebels, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. We need help. And it's just like trying to crash land, and then Boba Fett fucks off. He was just like the distraction.
Yeah, that was his thing. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, they crash land in there, and then they get out all James Bond, Mission Impossible style, knock out a bunch of people, and then the Mandalorian runs into the Dark Troopers that they find out were being charged up.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, those things are over fucking powered.
Yeah.
Well, like, we got like the super battle droids in episode 2. That was like the next best thing before
Yeah.
the dark troopers, as far as disposable minions in
But-
Star Wars.
But these fucking things, like when Mando's trying to race over to the door, to close it to make sure they don't get out, and that one, sneaks out anyway. Holy fuck! That when he's like holding them up against the wall and using like that robot punch of just like pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
just like brutally bashing in his head. I'm just like, God damn, they're getting away with this.
Were these in Battlefront or any of those games?
No, these are brand new.
Actually, they showed up once in the old Nintendo 64 PlayStation game.
Yeah.
It was like it was an RPG style Star Wars game, and they were one of the main bads. So yeah, that was a pull from an old video game.
Was this Jedi Power Battles?
That I wouldn't know. I don't remember right off. But you can look up info on Dark Troopers while I'm talking, and you can find out
Ooh,
the info.
this was... I fucking had this game. Dark Forces.
Dark Forces, yes.
Yeah, this was like a fucking Doom style Star Wars game.
Yeah, it was definitely like a different kind of setup
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, the coolest
You're not
thing...
blasting fucking guard of that shit though.
Yeah, I remember hating this fucking game.
Yeah, so that's actually where they came from. But no, all those scenes with the fucking dark troopers, those things were just insane.
Yeah.
But the one part I found interesting, when I was initially watching it, I was going, this feels a little cheap CGI-ish, because they're all just kind of moving so much in unison. They're all so slick looking
Well, that's
and
the whole
clean.
thing about that. That's what the thing, when you want to make something look evil,
Yeah.
or by our standards today,
Yeah.
especially in like visual media, the uniformity, the movement is very blockish. It's deep embedded in the Star Wars part for the fact that when do we see the Empire? Oh, they're in formation, motherfucker. These stormtroopers, black troopers, the white stormtroopers, even the droids, it's all uniform, no individuality. When we see the rebels, it's always like a ragtag bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like Rogue One. And that's when you know that's the good guys, the ragtag team, which is, the same as this,
Yeah.
But even in all of media, if you see that uniformity, everyone wearing the same thing, you're like, those are the fucking bad guys. Yeah. because we're taught that, like you.
Well, yeah, I was cool with that. It felt like it was almost like cheap looking CGI almost. But then when I watched the behind the scenes, those were people in fucking suits with like green screen legs that they like kind of replaced with. So that was like hybrid CGI shit. And I thought that was an interesting touch, because one of the key things about the Dark Troopers is, and they mention it in the show, they just don't really go into it in detail, they're half man, half machine.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point where it was more machine than man.
Yeah.
So for them to actually add a little bit of that organic human movement to it, I actually thought was kind of cool. So it actually changed my perspective on that scene and the way it looked a little bit.
So they upgraded Darth Vader technology and just kind of applied it to a fucking army.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool how
That's probably what happened to the clone troopers.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool how Moff Gideon kind of had that look of Darth Vader without a helmet, but then the Dark Troopers looked like robot Darth Vaders.
Yeah.
I would love to see in the next season him meet one of them droids Dooku had.
Ooh, yeah.
That used the staffs that could go toe to toe with a lightsaber.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to see him, like a remnant of one of those, just laying around,
Yep.
protecting something he has to go get.
And then we get one of two payoffs at the end of this episode.
Yep. First one is by this point they wind up getting into the control room. They've got Moff and everything else. They've opened up the way they got rid of the rest of the Dark Troopers, or whatever they are, is they opened up like hatch bay doors,
the
airlocks, and sucked them out. So then they hear like a beep 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 on the fucking thing, and they're like, "Oh shit, they're flying back!" You see them flying back.
He forgot that they could fly.
Yeah. So they're fucking flying back, and they're like busting their way back in and all this other bullshit. And then they're like, God damn, what now? And it's like a single X-Wing.
Oh, before that, real quick. I love Moff Gideon like just talking shit.
Yeah.
The whole time. Even while they get rid of the droids, he's still talking shit.
He's, like, he's just like, I knew that it would wind up like this. I knew you were coming. I knew this exact moment was going to happen.
Because now they have a respite. Right after they do the airlock, like there's a respite. And he's laughing because he's like, oh, you can't have that dark saber, bitch. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're going to have to kill him. Mm-hmm. And then the whole, I'll give you, he's like, no, blah, 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 my religion. Blah, blah, blah. And
it's like, oh, but wait a minute. I fucking took off my helmet.
That's the point. If I was the Mandalorian, I would took off my fucking helmet, looked her dead in the eyes, and says, you dumb bitch.
Take the goddamn... I do like how he was just like, at first trying to like give it to her with honor, being like, I believe this is yours. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, and then that's when Moff says all that stuff, and he's just like, just take the sword. he says,
you're letting the asshole win. You know, like,
he said it so humbly, just take the sword. He's like, please.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, that's all that was missing, was just a please.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. Moff just being such a sarcastic, just ha the entire time.
Assume I know everything.
And then all of a sudden, this one lone X-wing rolls in, and even then he's just like, ha ha ha. What's one gonna fucking do? Then he hops out.
It fucks everybody up.
Fucks everyone up. And the look on his face.
That's fear.
He all of a sudden knew. He was like, oh.
This motherfucker dropped 2 Death Stars like it wasn't shit.
Now, with I'm Chris, unfortunately, I may not be able to fully ask you because you didn't watch it the day it came out, right? You waited a little bit.
No, I waited about a week.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, you wound up probably hearing about that day one when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but for Cap, how long did it take you to realize that it was Luke?
Probably when did Luke show up first or did R2-D2 show up first?
Luke showed up first.
Okay.
Because the way it rolled out was it was black and white footage of the X-Wing landing, him hopping out.
Green light. That was the green lightsaber, right?
Well, you didn't see the green lightsaber yet. All you saw was a cloaked figure with a lightsaber because it was black and white.
Yeah.
Cutting down the fucking robots.
Okay.
And then it clips to his perspective, and then you see the green with the black glove.
So yeah, that's probably what gave it away was the green lightsaber.
Now, when I watched it, I knew what was going to happen. However, they give it away very quickly with just the lone X-Wing somehow getting onto the ship.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to ask for a code. The shields weren't down. He just got the fuck on the ship.
Yeah.
And I think that gave it away. Like, even if I was to watch it when it came out, I think that would have gave it away to me because it's a long time coming because it would have, the whole episode before the siege would just be a throwaway because he sent out a signal for a Jedi. With Ahsoka, he's not like he's calling Ahsoka.
Yeah.
All right, he's not going to leave the bitch and call her back. He's sending a long message to the only one left.
Yeah.
And I think, once you put everything together while you're watching,
Right.
yeah, you kind of know it's him.
I think for me, I didn't accept it until, like what Cap said, I saw the green lightsaber with the black glove. And the reason I was in such denial, even though it was trying to put it right in my face, and I'm like still second guessing, is I'm going, they would do anything but Luke.
Really?
That was my thought. I'm like, they would do anything but Luke right now. I don't feel like that's about to happen. And I'm even sitting here going, like, my first initial thought was just like, oh, Ahsoka's back. Because the fight style was very similar, and she had the caped hood and everything else. It's just like, oh, she just happened to also have an X-Wing, whatever. I was in such denial until I saw that. And then it was like, no one could have broken my attention the first time watching that. As soon as I saw the green lightsaber, like, I was so fixated, like, holy fuck. They did this. They're doing this. They're doing this. Okay, wait. Luke is here. Luke? Like that was my whole thought process watching the fight scene. Like I wasn't like taking in the fight. Like the entire time I was like in denial going, wait, this is Luke.
Right?
They put Luke in this. What? Okay. Huh. And it was more of like a processing than an excited thing. Because I never would have thought they would have done that.
Because you're sitting there going like, who the fuck else could it be?
Yes. It's like put to the point of like just also being so sure it wasn't. And like going, they're trying to trick me right now. They're trying to make me think this is gonna be Luke. I'm smarter than that though. Fuck you guys. You're not gonna Wait. No.
Then you're like, oh wait, they have the digitized face shit. Of course it's Luke.
And yeah, so I was happy with it.
Did you feel that there was a callback to Rogue One with Darth Vader?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I did feel that, especially on the second watch. Like, dead honest, I was still so much trying to process all of the ending. I rewatched it like 2 or 3 times, not out of like, I have to see this again, but just being like, okay, this happened. Now let me actually watch and understand the plot right now. And the one thing I did not care for, I thought the de-aging was fine. They did something to his voice.
And that was Mark Hamill's voice too, right?
It was Mark Hamill's voice, but like there were moments that sounded auto-tuned.
Probably because his voice is old and haggard as shit.
Yeah, and they like tried to make it smooth and kind of sound a little younger at points. And I can't remember the line exactly, but it was something like,
Give me that motherfucking kid.
Yeah.
it was one of those, honestly, kind of like where he said,
I've come for the baby.
I think it was the line of him saying,
Get
I can't
in my
make him come with me, but I can teach him something.
Now, what
And like
about-
the way the sentence ended, it almost had like that kind of like rap auto tune kind of
Yeah.
at the end of it. It was a little odd.
I would have loved it. It's like, I can't make him come with me. Then R2D2 shows up and brings like a bag of macaroons. He's like, never mind, I can now. Come on. Yeah.
I did,
I can talk.
and
Ladybird.
and because my favorite characters as a child were always R2D2 and C3PO, when R2 rolled out next to him, I did roll a tear. Because I was just like, R2 and Luke, yes, the dream team. So like that honestly made me really happy seeing R2 with Luke again.
Would it have ruined it if C3PO was with him?
A little bit. It would
Oh,
have.
this lame ass. You brought this lame piece of shit.
Like, why'd you bring both of them?
But seeing like his old trusty companion R2 with him again, it was just like, yes.
Somebody's got to fly that X-wing or like talk to him on that X-wing.
And I will say, as much as I was kind of going meh about the whole dad thing, the final scene with him and Grogu was very well done, especially because he took the helmet off for him.
Yeah.
That was a really good, like, get you in the chest moment.
Then Grogu says, "Holy shit, you're that guy from Game of Thrones."
But it also kind of, because Star Wars loves doing
Viper.
and also because Star Wars loves calling back, poetry and all that stuff. It also felt rather reminiscent of "Let Me Look on You with My Own Eyes."
Yeah.
It also felt very much like that. So that was a very cool
Kind of like
ending.
an Aunt May Spider-Man thing. Let me see your real face.
A little bit, yeah. So yeah, that was kind of sweet, and Grogu reaching up and kind of touching him, being like, "Oh shit, this is what you actually look like the entire fucking time."
So, but that ends, and I'll ask you guys this: with all the cancellations and all the fucking, rumors and all this other stuff that's anything Star Wars related as far as continuity, I don't think there is a better cutoff point for this story than this.
Well, the whole Boba Fett returning.
Well, that's different. I think
Yeah,
the Boba
that's
Fett
the
thing.
end credits thing, yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Mandalorian story and that cast of characters.
Yeah, because they haven't like fully 100% confirmed that there's going to be another season, but they've said that they're going to make another season 3. It's just yet to be like hey, here's Mandalorian season 3 coming out in 2 years from now. They just haven't made that announcement yet. But Favreau's been kind of vocal about, I'd like to do a season 3.
I kind of want them to use some of the cast from Game of Thrones in the next go around.
I mean, I'm sure they'll need some work.
Yeah.
But
I would love to see Thor Bjornsson be a bad guy again.
That'd be cool. But but how do you top this? Is what I'm getting at. How do you top Luke and R2 saving Grogu and Mandalorian showing his face?
Yeah.
Well, you may not top it, but I have him go after the Crimson Dawn that's run by Darth Maul.
I mean, that would be cool.
That's part of the Han Solo system.
but you can have-
I know you didn't see it, but there is a crime faction that Han Solo had joined up with called the Crimson Dawn.
Okay.
And that's run by Darth Maul.
Got it.
And
that could be a whole series in itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, see,
I would love that, like him meet up with those characters.
Well, let's
know
go ahead and talk about the end scene because I can connect it all together for us with what I think should happen.
Okay.
So yeah, that end scene, I fucking loved it. They show back up on Tatooine. We get the scene of Tatooine. All of a sudden, it's Jabba's palace, and I'm going, what the fuck are they about to do? And goddamn snakehead dude is now the fucking kingpin down there. He's gotten all fat and shit.
He's become Jabba.
Yes, and I'm laughing my ass off at that scene. I thought that was fucking great. And all of a sudden you hear the fucking blasters, and I'm like, oh shit, I know what's coming.
See, this is the Robert Rodriguez series with like desert vampires I want to see. Is this Boba Fett series?
Yep, there's sure enough
Nights.
Sure enough, Boba Fett and his henchmen come rolling on down, talk some shit for a minute. I thought you were dead. And he's like, you're about to be click.
Yep.
Wipes out the entire room.
D'Artagnan, motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, basically wipes out the whole room. There was a girl power moment, but at the same time I was just like, hell yeah. Which was the moment where the slave girl was still tied up, and what's her name?
Say what?
Shinian.
Yeah, she looks over at her,
Yeah,
like,
pow.
yeah, like looks like she's about to kill her too. Then like slightly angles it, shoots the cable, and like gives her this knowing look of like, get out,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I was just like, okay, that was kind of cool. Free the slave girl. I like that.
So you have one shot. Take it.
Yeah, and but no, how fucking gangster fucking moment when he fucking shoots the dude, walks up there, fucking tosses his body off the goddamn
My chair.
Yep, tosses his body off, grabs the fucking blue milk or blue whatever drink it was, and fucking sits down on that thing, and it's just like boom, Book of Fett.
I know we didn't talk about it, but when they sieged that Imperial ship,
Oh yeah.
what did you think of the whole Alderaan thing?
I thought that was good.
Oh, that was cool.
I like that too. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're one of them, aren't you?" Well, you got that. And I want to call it the Runaway R. Like they say in Django. He's like,
Right.
I want you to brand that bitch right there.
Oh,
below
no,
the eye.
it's like the tattoo tears or some shit.
Yeah.
And I just looked it up. The guy that did the voice of the boy in Jabba's palace,
Yeah,
Bib Fortuna, is also the guy that does the voice for Grievous.
really. And the actor was the same one that played the same of that species in episode 1 during the pod racing scene.
That's right. I remember that. I remember that info making the rounds too.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Bib,
But
Bib Fortuna is the character's name.
this is what I think should happen. So we've already gotten confirmation that the Book of Boba Fett is going to be a new series.
Yeah.
I would like them to, and we've already gotten confirmation of like Ahsoka and like the Ragtag team. You know, they're all getting their own series. Okay, I would like if in each of those series, Mando makes guest appearances.
Yeah.
Like Book of Boba Fett might as well be Mandalorian season 3. Now we're just following Boba Fett in Tatooine, being the new crime kingpin.
And vampire restaurants.
Fire, yes. And who knows? Maybe there's a moment in which Mando needs to come to town to do some shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, and all of a sudden he gets recruited in, or in the Ahsoka series, they wind up crossing paths again, you know, that kind of stuff. So I feel like, to kind of dovetail off what Cap was saying, I think this is a perfect ending for his overall narrative, but I think there's tons of room for him to pop up for like an episode or two in all these other new series they're doing.
So I don't think you can tell. I agree, because I don't think you can take a Mandalorian story without, you know, a sole Mandalorian story, Mando, without a Grogu alongside of him too.
And honestly, I would like it. I have a feeling they're not going to, because it's Disney and money. Yay, money. I would like it if they didn't touch Grogu again. I would like it if they just left it at that.
I mean, that'd be fine too, but you're right. They're not going to.
Yeah. But honestly, I think to lead, well, to kind of
I
even
can think of one reason to bring Grogu back, and it's at the school that Luke makes, and like him just like being roommates with Kylo Ren, and just like Luke busted in there, and Grogu's like, "God, bro, what the fuck?" Like, and he's the reason the fucking place crumbled. Like, yo, bro. Like, just
Grogu
fucking-
grows up to be a dark Jedi.
no, not even that. He's just been like, "Yeah, I was there. I quit the fucking Jedi, man. Fucking, he went nuts. I'm trying to live my life, motherfucker."
I would like to see some sort of like jokey, kind of like parody college humor type thing where, like, same setup. Grogu's kind of chilling in the same areas like Kylo and Luke
other
and
Knights
all
of
that.
Ren.
Yeah. And he's like, because, you know, Jedi can also kind of like sense and feel emotions and intentions and stuff. And he's like just kind of looking around, sensing and feeling. He's like, oh, a bunch of cool shit here. Gets on over to Kylo, gets all these bad vibes. He's like, I'm dipping.
He's like, nope.
I think it would be funny if Kylo Ren's like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, and he freaks out because of Mark Hamill. Like, my uncle tried to kill me, motherfucker.
Well, I think that's basically what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It went from Luke being like, "They're still good in Vader,"
Yeah.
to fuck you gonna kill that child.
I have to put
Because
this
he had
child
one
down.
bad thought.
I smoked some shit and got a bad vibe from that motherfucker. Is there anything y'all didn't like about the end of the last episode?
Not really. I mean, I can't think of anything.
If I had to be nitpicky, I would have liked to see a little bit of resolution with what happened after the door shut with the rest of the team. I don't have to see necessarily what happened with Luke and, you know, Grogu and shit, but like, okay, where does everyone kind of run off to now? Does Carlos's character, what happens with him? Shit like that.
So kind of sounded like a Arrested Development moment.
Right.
So are we going to drive this ship
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
So
Where do we drive this Imperial
So,
fucking ship?
who knows how to fly one of these
And
things?
not get shot out of the sky by a rebel ship.
Yeah, so honestly, that was the only thing in retrospect that I kind of was just like, I would have liked at least maybe 2 more minutes of like even them parting ways. We don't even have to see how they get off the ship, but like all of a sudden they're on a planet and like they're taking Esposito away, all that shit, and and then like, hey, hell, like you said, and then all of a sudden that's when the credits roll into the Tatooine scene and all that. But no, so I think that was my main problem with it. Is it just felt like they knew people were going to be so entranced with the Luke thing that we might as well not do anything else after.
Yeah, we're still caught up in our fanboy moment.
Yeah, so we might as well not try to tell any more story after. And I just felt like that might have been a miss.
What happens to Cara Dune? No, I'm just kidding.
She went back to be a marshal. That's the end.
Yeah.
She did her thing.
She went back home.
Last time you see her, she's a floating corpse and what's left of
I was gonna say she
the
got
capital.
transferred.
Yeah, she got transferred to another planet that was destroyed.
All the wrong places. All the wrong times.
All right, Cap.
I do know that this episode aired on the 5th anniversary of Force Awakens.
Really?
5th? Is that old now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You're old, Cap.
I know.
You're gonna die soon.
Yeah.
Was there anything that
Probably.
you didn't like about the last episode?
The only thing I didn't like is when the credits rolled, there was no concept art,
You're right. There wasn't.
which
Forgot about
I
that.
really enjoy the concept
I
art.
do too.
I imagine, like, if they don't do a season 3, I imagine there's going to be kind of like a coffee table book
I
of
would
the
love
concept
that.
art.
That would be
I
that
would
would
buy
be
that in a
awesome.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Peyton Reed directed that last episode.
Yeah, he did Ant-Man.
Yep. Mr. Ant-Man himself gave
Ant-Man
us
and Ant-Man on the Wasp.
gave us all the joy on December 18th,
I love how they're going in-house with some of the
2020.
directors.
Yeah.
Mandalorian
because they've got
season
great
3.
directors.
What's his name? Paul Rudd shows up as an ageless man.
Right.
He's like, "How old are you?" "I'm 105."
I'm full of all the quips you need to get through this
And I know
adventure.
magic.
Yeah, Peyton Reed, Bryce Dallas Howard, Carl Weathers, Dave Filoni. I know he's a big wig in Disney. I'm not sure.
Dave Filoni is basically like the new George Lucas for Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was like he
Except
was.
he ain't walking in the background of some random ass video.
I know. I love that video so much. But no, Dave Filoni was basically the Robin to Batman for a while. He was working with George Lucas for a long time, and George was kind of like grooming him to kind of take over.
This hat, though, look at this picture of him.
Dave Filoni always wears that same fucking hat everywhere.
What is it with directors and hats and just weird like Robert Rodriguez has the guitar, Dave Filoni has the hat.
Yeah, it is weird.
Something about
They're weird
filmmakers.
people, man.
Yeah. Kevin Smith has the jersey.
Yeah, and the backward baseball cap. Hat.
They're like, we're not going to be in the movie, so we got to dress up like cartoon characters off camera.
Yeah. Well, this has been a damn fun wrap up, and basically kind of looking into the future Couch Potatoes. This is going to be Marvel. Because
Basically,
we really
all-
don't have any much more Star Wars to look forward to the end of the year.
Now we tried to figure out what we want to watch for Warner
When is
Brothers,
Boba
but
Fett coming out?
I think next year.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute.
so we get just all Marvel this year between WandaVision and what is it? Winter Soldier. Yeah, Captain Falcon and all that.
And then I'm pretty sure we're still getting the Black Widow movie this year.
Yeah.
And
Did I say Captain Falcon? That's fucking Nintendo.
Just Falcon punching.
Just Falcon
Winter
Punch.
Soldier.
There we go. That's all I'm going to hear now when I see that series.
but yeah, so I think at the end of the year, I think was when we get the Bad Bunch or something like that.
The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, yeah.
That's going to be like
Bunch.
Star Wars is
The Bad Bunch sounds like a bunch of bad Looney Tune characters.
Suicide Squad. We're the Suicide
No,
Squad.
it's
We're the
either
bad.
going to fight in Space Jam, the Bad Bunch.
Yes. Bad. I know that just sounds like a bad Suicide Squad
Think about Space
reject
Jam
name.
for a second. Do you think they're going to suck the souls out of like Steph Curry and Kevin
I know
Durant?
exactly. Who are the players in this generation?
Lamar Odom. and shit.
No, they're just going to go to old Charles Barkley, old Patrick Ewing.
They're all dying.
Well, Alan's going to be like, that's terrible, Ernie.
Terrible.
And since we are kind of at the end of all the kind of Star Wars things we can do, except for what we've already mentioned with the last 2 movies, what do we want to do with those? What do we want to do with Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker?
Pretend they never happened. I don't know.
I would love, just talk about them.
Yeah.
Just talk about
I
them.
don't feel like doing a watch along.
Do I know?
I don't want to do a watch along with
No.
those because the last one's kind of long.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't
And
watched.
me and you in theaters was pretty much the best watch along. Because I think I was the only guy in that West Virginia theater when Chewbacca gets got. Is just like, oh yeah,
You called it.
called it.
I win the pool.
That honestly,
Kobe.
it's like you're exaggerating only a little bit for the fucking
Yeah.
show. Like, dead honest, we're sitting in the fucking theater with this dude. That happens. And again, I'm wrapped up in the story. I believe it for a second. And I'm like, oh, and I do hear quietly a fucking like 2 seats down. Yes. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god.
Well, I had that bet with Dalton. I'm like, Chewie's getting it, bro. Han's gone, Chewie's getting it. And he's like,
I even saw you. You even did like the.
We're about to get stacked. We're about to get paid. You don't understand.
Oh god. But for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex.
What happens to Cara Dune? I'm just kidding, this cap.
she got canceled.
She did.
And then to her.
Pew 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 pew.